Nuvolo also allows you to increase your space utilization. And this is really a three-part approach. First, it's increasing the accuracy of your current space utilization and assignments to know exactly where people are located. The second part is when it comes time for onboarding or perhaps doing reassignments of departments or individuals, knowing, for example, which space you have available. So reporting against the supply and demand of your space. And then the third approach is maintaining that accuracy. So as people are coming on board, as hiring managers have reallocations of their divisions, they can make these requests from the portal. And then as an organization, you can then manage those moves efficiently and knowing exactly when those are completed, so you can communicate that to the end user for a better employee experience. At this point, we'll go ahead to hop directly into the application. So I mentioned the first approach, understanding how space is currently being utilized. You'll see an example of a report where you can see which departments are assigned to which space on a floor, knowing, for example, how many spaces they've been assigned and knowing exactly how that space is supposed to be used. Within a specific floor, this is where you can start to get more granular on the information that you track. Within Nuvolo, you can also manage your entire space hierarchy to know, for example, which regions do you have space in, which buildings roll up to that region, which floors roll up to that building. And then also tracking things, for example, dates associated to it. But more importantly, tracking the assignable area of that space and also how you're utilizing that space. So here you can see things like capacity. How much assignable capacity do you have and how much flex capacity is available? And then when it comes time to know, for example, where people are currently located, that's where you have Nuvolo's Workspace Manager to be able to do your real-time drag and drop assignments. So as you're getting your inventory, your space inventory accurate, you can say, for example, walk around the office saying, all right, Peter's located here, Howard's located in this spot. This allows you to update in real time where people are located. So that way you can then start doing a delta move as people are then moving around to new locations. And in order to do that delta move, that gives you the ability to then report to say, for example, how many vacancies do we have across the portfolio? So as an organization, you can start to then plan out these moves proactively in advance. You can check in with the departments to make sure that they have all of their needs being met. And then when it comes time to maintain the use of space, you allow an end user to be able to make space requests. So once again, logged in user as an end user, this is where I'm on a self-service portal where I can make a space request. I can say, for example, I'm an individual and would like to go to this location. Here you can see, for example, where this individual is already located. I can go ahead to pick from the floor plan where I can see where my peers are located. I can also select a space to say, I want to be located at this location. And what's important to note is that's exactly what it is, right? This is, for example, this is a request. So then once it goes to the proper approvals or internal policies and procedures, it can then in real time update where this individual needs to be. They can request when they want to move, justify the move reason, and also put in other information or documentation which is required. Here, I'll just go ahead to say, for example, this is a convenience move on this date. We'll follow this one through all the way to the move. But just for the sake of the demonstration, let's go ahead and also show you as a hiring manager how they can request for their employees to be moved to a new location. Here, just like the similar process we followed before, this is where they can add multiple employees to a workspace. And then also for an end user to request a space. This can include a conference room, it can include a desk for a period of time. They can say, for example, which building they're located in. They can say when they need it, start and end dates. So maybe, for example, at a certain time, they can say the number of attendees or capacity, the type of space they may need, or perhaps the different amenities. At the point of then filling out their criteria, they'll then be presented with the space that meets that criteria. There's a difference between reservable and requestable space. Reservable assumes that if it's available, the individual will be granted access to that space, and if it's requestable, that means or assumes it needs to go through some sort of approval. So I mentioned we'll follow through the individual move request. In this scenario, this will come in as a planned move in draft. So this, I'm now a workspace planner, maybe a part of the facilities department, maybe a part of group services. This then allows me to access that move request. Here, for example, I can see the request that was made, and then I can also see on the floor plan the space that they selected. This allows me as a space manager to be able to approve it or perhaps to readjust it accordingly. Here, when I go ahead to launch the workspace planner, I can see exactly where that individual requested the space. I can have insight into the delta, so where they were previously located and where they're requesting to move. And then also I can approve it. So I can see exactly where this individual is. I can also adjust the assignments as well directly from the screen. I can even visualize this information, for example, by department to make sure that the department needs are being met. And then also I can see, as I mentioned, the delta. So the floors being a part of it, and then also where they're going from and where they're going to. Once this has been submitted and approved, this then goes into the third step of automating the move. And as a part of that move, you can see, for example, we're within the move scheduler. So this allows a move planner to be able to plan those moves according to the dates and also the different campuses or regions that are part of this move. Here, for example, I can drag and drop the different activities. So I can say, for example, this individual is going to be moved on this date. I can also start to plan out the different activities apart of that move, such as move this individual's thing, perhaps paint the location or clean the space. And I can even include different departments, such as set up a network connection for this space or for this individual. Once again, going back to the use case of collaboration. And then when it comes time to understand exactly what's going on within the department, you can go back to your workspace and reporting, where you can say, for example, which moves are in place and also how we're utilizing our space. So going to our workspace planner, we can see, for example, the moves that are in process, the moves that are completed, and then also exactly when those moves have been requested. So that way you have all the information for your planning purposes. So with Nuvolo, being able to manage the entire process from knowing, for example, where people are currently located, knowing how you're currently utilizing your space, and then also managing and maintaining that information by allowing end users to request moves, and then also as a space management team to plan out your large scale scenario planning to know where departments are being assigned.